In fairy tales from all over the world, there's this recurring theme. Heroes are always on a quest for two magical fountains. One has the water of death to heal wounds, and the other has the water of life to, bring people back from the dead. It's a classic myth. But what if that ancient idea got a modern technological makeover? Okay, let's get into it. So that's the big question, right? Can water actually be living or dead? Well, the source material we're looking at today takes this question out of the world of folklore and puts a really fascinating technological spin on it. The claim is that we can actually use a scientific process to create two totally different types of water with completely opposite effects on our bodies. So here's the game plan. We're going to start by asking if this is a fairy tale or something else. Then we'll compare this so-called living and dead water. After that, we'll look at the supposed science behind it, check out all the things it's claimed to be used for, and wrap up with a final thought on what it all really means. All right, first things first. We're not talking about magical springs in a hidden forest here. The source material focuses on something it calls activated water, and this is presented as the modern, high-tech version of that old myth. So how exactly do you activate water? Well, the process described is something called electrolysis. Basically, you take regular water and run an electric current through it. This current splits the water at two different points, the cathode and the anode. And boom, you get two different kinds of water, which the text calls catholyte and analyte. And this, right here, is the heart of the whole idea. These two different waters, created by electrolysis, are what the source labels living water and dead water. So let's see how they supposedly stack up against each other. The source material really paints a picture of perfect opposites here. On one side, you've got living water, the catholyte. It's described as alkaline, a biostimulant, something that speeds up healing. Then on the other side, you have dead water, the analyte. It's acidic, a bactericide, something that disinfects and actually slows down biological processes. So two completely opposite effects, all supposedly coming from the same tap. So you're probably wondering, how could this possibly work? How can water have such different effects? Well, the source material tries to explain it all using two key measurements you might remember from chemistry class: pH and something called ORP. First up is pH. This one's pretty simple. It's just a scale that tells you how acidic or alkaline something is. 7 is neutral, that's pure water. Anything below 7 is acidic, and anything above 7 is alkaline. Easy enough? And here's where you can see the claimed difference. According to the source, dead water is super acidic with a pH down around 2.5 to 3.5. Think lemon juice. But living water is way on the other end of the scale, strongly alkaline with a pH of 8.5 to 10.5. The whole idea is that electrolysis pushes the water to these two extremes. Now for the second metric, ORP, which stands for oxidation reduction potential. I know, it's a mouthful, but basically it's just a measure of a substance's electrical charge. A negative ORP means it's an antioxidant. It can donate electrons. A positive ORP means it's an oxidant. It takes electrons. And wow, check out the difference here. Regular tap water and the so-called dead water both have a strong positive charge, meaning they're oxidants. But according to the source, living water does a complete 180 and flips to a negative charge. And the claim is that this negative charge is what gives it those supposed antioxidant biostimulating powers. Okay, so we've got these two types of water with totally opposite chemical properties. What are these supposed to be used for? Well, this next part is where we get into the huge range of treatments and applications mentioned in the source material. And the list of ailments it supposedly helps with is, well, it's pretty extensive. We're talking everything from a sore throat and allergies, all the way to more serious sounding conditions like stomach ulcers, prostatitis, and eczema. The source really presents this water as a potential fix for a ton of different health problems. To back up these claims, the source shares some powerful anecdotes. Get this one. It talks about an engineer who had this wound that just wouldn't heal for over 6 months. He tries this activated water, and supposedly it completely healed up in just 6 days. That's a really specific story, and it's presented as evidence in the text. The text even provides detailed instructions, kind of like recipes. For something like a common cold, it says you should first use the acidic, dead water to rinse your nose and throat to disinfect everything. Then, right after, you drink a half a glass of the alkaline, living water to stimulate your body. It's this 1-2 punch that shows up again and again. So we've looked at the process, the science they claim is behind it, and all the different uses. Let's kind of pull it all together for one last thought on what this whole idea of living water is really about. So when you boil it all down, the single biggest takeaway is this. The entire premise hinges on the idea that by just changing water's basic electrical properties, like its pH and its charge, you can turn it into this powerful tool that can either disinfect or heal. That is the fundamental claim we've been exploring. And all of this leaves us with a pretty fascinating question, doesn't it? From ancient fairy tales to modern gadgets that perform electrolysis, this search for some kind of special, life-giving miracle water seems to be a constant throughout human history. What does this never-ending quest for a simple, universal cure actually tell us about our hopes, our fears, and maybe our complicated relationship with both science and belief? Definitely something to think about.